Here we are inside the Auto-Sleeper Broadway. If we firstly come to the main control panel just here, we will see that it's currently just letting us know the condition of the leisure battery. And if we now press this button here, we can turn the 12 volt on. Once we turn the 12 volt on, as long as we've got fresh water in the tank, we can then turn the water pump on. Water pump needs to be on, so we can get water out the tap or fill the boiler up if it's been actually drained down. Next we have battery selection. So at the moment we've selected the leisure battery, and that's the one we're charging whilst hooked up to the main supply. If I now press this button here, it will now select the vehicle battery, and that's now what we are charging whilst being hooked up to the main supply. Auxiliary just turns the awning light on and off, and then all other information is then just given via scrolling. The camera doesn't pick it up particularly very well, so I'll just explain what I'm seeing as I scroll through. So we're back to the home screen just here. So this is a Sargent EC328S control panel. It's then displaying the time and also giving us an internal temperature. There you go, you can see now the backlight's gone off. Next we can set an event. We just arrow in to turn the event on or off just here. Basically an event is just a countdown timer. We can set a wake up alarm. Again, we just arrow in to turn it on or off. We can set the clock. Water tank fill we do not need to worry about. As soon as we turn the 12 volt on here, it will then make that filling point on the outside for the whale filler hoses live. Again, we can just leave the pump on internal. It's then displaying the battery current that we're currently using, external temperature, how much water's in the waste tank, how much water's in the fresh tank. It's letting us know that we are connected to mains electricity at the moment. The condition of the vehicle battery, condition of the leisure battery, and then back to the home screen again. Above this we then have the controls for the electric element in the Truma Fire just here. So we have an inner dial that just controls the temperature, and then the outer dial that controls the power setting. So if we flick it all the way to the top just here, we can run it on main supply using 2 kilowatts. If we flick it down, we can run it on main supply using 500 watts. And if we flick it all the way to the bottom, we will then run it on 1 kilowatt. This is all just dependent on the ampage of the site we're on. If we don't have main supply connected, we can run the fire on gas, and if we just come to the unit itself, all we need to do is just twist just here. The igniter will start ticking. Then all we need to do is just hold it down. Usually when it stops ticking, it's a fairly good indication that it's lit. I then usually just hold for a few seconds more and then release. If the ticking has stopped, we know we've lit. We can peer for the pilot light just down here. They are quite awkward to see. There we go. If whenever you turn this part here and you don't get the ticking noise, you can just check to see whether or not it does require a new battery, which is just tucked. Let me just find it myself, which is just tucked. Here it is, just there. Regardless whether you're using the fire on gas or main supply, this part here just controls the circulation fan that will blow the air out of the air ducts around the motorhome. We're off in the middle. If we now flick across, that will then turn the circulation fan on, and then we can control the speed of the fan just here. A does not work in this model. You do have to have a secondary thermostat added. Next we just have the switch that does the top level lighting just here. All the other lights are then individually just turned on and off on their own switches. Beneath that we then have the boiler on gas. Make sure the flue cover has been removed outside and then just flick down like so. We can then control the temperature of the water just here. If it fails to light, a red light will then pop up in the window just there. For hot water on main supply, we just need to come into the wardrobe and you will see it just here. So water off, water on. On mains electric, do make sure that this has been switched off if the boiler has been drained down, or otherwise when you hook up to the main supply it will come straight on and you may burn the element out. Above it is the isolator switch for the electric element in the fire just here. If you turn that one off, this control up here will not work. Also in the wardrobe we have the gas isolation taps for the van. They are all in the on position and quite frankly can stay like that. I always say if you actually smell gas in the van, just go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. The consumer unit is also in here. So we have the isolator switch just for the battery charger itself, just there. We have all of the main strip switches just here. And then the 12 volt fuses all just there. If you have reverse polarity connected to the van, it will illuminate to let you know just here. We have the freestanding table and the television aerial. The digital amplifier is just here, on and off just underneath, and control the boost just here. To raise the mast itself, just undo the collar and then push up. Red dot represents which way the actual aerial is pointing in, and we can also flip from the horizontal position to vertical just by turning the tail just here. Do make sure that we are back down for travel and do not over tighten this collar as you can split it. If we now just slide the drawer out just here and then lift up just here, we can see the location of the boiler itself. To drain the boiler down for winterization, if we just remove the cushions and then if we lift up, we can see the boiler drain valve just there. Just flap up to drain all the water out of the boiler and then flap it over as it is at the moment to refill. We then also have the location of the leisure battery just here, and you can also see the solenoid just here that controls the flow rate into the van from the whale fillers on the outside. We then have the Thetford fridge just here, on and off on this button. This is an automatic model, so as long as you're on A for auto, it will find the best power source it can for you. So because we're hooked up to mains electric at the moment, it's put us onto mains. If I now went outside and pulled the mains lead out, it would then automatically attempt to fire itself up onto gas, and as soon as we start the engine of the vehicle, it will then automatically go over to 12 volt maintain. We can take it out of auto. It's a bit redundant, but you can do it. So I can manually put it onto 12 volt maintain. We're going to get an error code at the moment because the engine's not running. I can manually put it onto gas, and I can manually put it on to main supply. But auto is definitely the easiest one to have it on. Temperature control just here. Then just open here, and we have the freezer box just up the top just there. Microwave just here. Do make sure that the plate is removed for travel. All the usual bits on the microwave. Quick start, stop just there, time selection just there, all your auto cooks, defrost, power setting. The hob has one electric hot plate which operates just here. Light comes on to let you know it's in operation. Everything else is gas, and it is just push in, twist and press the igniter. Then we have beneath that the grill, and again push in, twist and then press. And the oven. Beneath the oven we have storage, but also located right at the back is a plug plugged in, which is for the electric hot plate. If we move into the washroom, we have the basin just here, and then the shower. We have the swing wall that comes across, and then the shower screen. Do make sure that this is clipped back for travel. We then have the Thetford toilet just here, open to the cassette at this point, and then push to flush just on top. Level indicator just here to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. We have the overcab double bed just here. We can clip up this net as it is at the moment, and then we just unclip to put it back down again. And then we can stow the ladder above, and we can lift and fold and then lock into these bits just here. You will find just behind the driver's seat just here there are a few more fuses, and again they are labelled up.